You going to cover the Ukraine protests? I don't know what you're referring to. Corruption protests? I mean, I'm sure there's corruption in Ukraine, right? Like, it's Ukraine.
Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky has signed a new bill causing backlash across the country. Thousands of people have taken to the streets this week protesting a law that critics say weakens anti-corruption agencies in Ukraine. Now Zelensky says he'll adopt a new version of the bill to preserve independence for those agencies. Foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burge.
Yo, I want to watch Al Jazeera. Yeah, hold on.
Protesters have gathered in Ukraine.
Finally, a good microphone, huh? I feel like the last 4 or 5 videos we've looked at, the audio quality has not been great.
Ukrainian cities angered by a hastily passed bill that weakens anti-corruption institutions. President Zelensky signed the bill late on Tuesday night as thousands demonstrated in Kyiv, Odessa, Dnipro and Lviv. It's the first significant demonstration since the full-scale Russian invasion. Laura Challenge reports from the protest in the capital.
This is dangerous new territory for President Zelensky. Since the war started, any frustration at his government has been muted by a sense of unity in the face of Russia's invasion. Well, that balance has just snapped. Anger at a law that would gut the independence of 2 anti-corruption bodies has been instant, and Ukrainians have once again come to the streets, proving that 12 years after Euromaidan, the perception of government corruption is still a raw nerve in this country.
Just as quickly he signed this law, just as quickly he should put a veto now. Because I think that with these events, he's very much losing his authority, and it's not the right time for him, for us, for the country, neither for us internally nor for us externally.
It seems like a very complicated topic. Anti-corruption laws are necessarily kind of procedural, bureaucratic, and fiddly. They aren't really like bold, sweeping claims. You know, they always, it's always like the devil's in the details with them. That's interesting. Somebody said that Zelensky has already conceded to the demands of the protesters. I spoke with Friedrich Merz. As always, a very good conversation. There's a willingness to help and continue supporting us. I informed him that I have already approved the draft bill guaranteeing the independence and effectiveness of anti-corruption institutions in Ukraine. It's important that our... So why did Zelensky approve the law to begin with? Was there a concern that the pre-existing anti-corruption laws were impeding the government's functionality in some way? Because it's possible for anti-corruption laws to be badly written, right? Especially if these laws were written before the war, like they were written, you know, early on into Zelensky's presidency or before. It's possible that they might just be dealing with an issue in the way they were implemented. Discuss the implementation of our agreements with the EU and the work toward opening the first negotiation cluster. This seems like it was just a law written by the legislature because the anti-corruption agency got infiltrated by Russian intelligence agents who leaked info gleaned from the agency's work. That's interesting. Yeah, that seems like something I need to know more about. As a general rule, and I hope you've all noticed this, I've been pretty charitable to Ukraine because Ukraine was, and to an extent still is, I say this respectfully, a broke, backwater, post-Soviet country with severe corruption issues who had no military and were suddenly invaded by an enormous neighboring nation and have desperately scrambled to defend themselves from total war, right? Like, so I'm willing to give some leeway here. You know, it's difficult enough to run a government under the best of circumstances. Look at us in America. We're the strongest country on the planet by far. And we still can't get it right. Nothing threatens us at all, and we're still fucking up constantly. So I'm willing to extend a bit of charitability here. Also, despite like 50 billion accusations from the Russian government, I have yet to see any evidence of, I don't know, genuine malice from Zelensky. Does that make sense? Like, he's made mistakes that I've criticized, but I think for the most part, I haven't seen anything that looks like a betrayal of his stated intentions, right? Very positive that he immediately conceded to the protesters' demands and announced a new draft of the law with the changes protesters asked for. Yeah, all right. Well, seems like, I can't say it's a nothing burger. Seems like a, what do you call it? Not a nothing burger. A, resolved issue. The positive view on Zelensky can't last forever. That's true. Inevitably, eventually. I mean, his popularity has declined somewhat as the war continues to drag on, but that's to be expected. A something burger. There you go. What's the current status of the war? Stalemate? Slog? Here, let me finish this coffee. I've been contemplating it for an hour. There are new peace talks, but not going anywhere anytime soon? Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to.